do while in Python. So Python does not have do while, right? We don't have do while. Okay, why don't we have? The reason is Python prioritizes readability and simplicity. Python is most simplest language. It focuses on readability and simplicity, right? That is a first and foremost reason. Do while loop can sometimes lead to uninterrupted infinite loop. So that is why people avoid this, right? Rare need for do while loop. So as I told you, as 80-90% time I am using for loop in Python, remaining time I am using while loop. Now do while loop is very rare loop. So generally people don't use this, right? If you see in C, C++ also or Java also, how many times you have utilized this do while loop? How many times? Very less, right? So there's very rare need, right? There's very rare need of it. So the creator of Python, he believes that you should avoid redundant things. The things which are making your code unnecessary complicated, you should remove them. But you can implement do while loop using while loop and break. How? Let me show you example here. Instead of giving condition, if you see in C++, let me explain you. If you see in C++ or Java, we write do while loop like this. Do while, okay, while, and here we write the condition, right? So what Python people are saying, why are you doing this? You can execute this using while loop only. You can put your condition here, right, and then column. At the end you put your condition. At the end you can put your condition. It means this condition should be here and this condition should be always true. If you see here code, slideshow from current. Okay, so what they are saying is you can always keep this true, always true, condition will always true. It will break here. The condition that you were using here, do while loop in C, C++ or Java, right? It end here and then you write while. I think I'm not able to recall the syntax exactly, but this is what it is, right? Condition we have at the end. So this condition you can put here and you keep this condition always true. That's it. So it will execute this first time, and if condition won't make, it will break. So do while means what? At least one time it will execute, right? At least one time. If you are from C, C++, Java, at least one time it will execute. Here also it will execute at least one time because the condition is always true. And then at the end you are checking your condition. Alright. So at least one time it will also execute. So you can see here example, it will take input every time until you give input which is greater than 5. This loop will run until you will give greater than 5. So at least one time it will run. First time if you enter input 6, then it will stop and it will go out of that loop. Right. So while true and putting your condition here. So that is how you can implement do while using simple while. That trick you can also try in C, C++, Java also. Right. So we don't need do while. That is what Python people are saying. You don't need do while. You don't need do while. You can use this thing with while. So ultimately 80-90% time you are using for loop. Remaining approx 10% time you are using while loop, and maybe 1% chances that you will use do while. Right? In those cases you can use this one instead of using this, because we want to simplify the coding, we don't want to complicate this. As simple as that they are saying. Any doubt in this? We can simulate do while using while loop with a break condition. With a break condition. Okay, I think this is a important thing to understand, how break and while loop can yeah, you can see here example. Do while loop means initially you will take some. Do while loop means you want to execute your loop at least one, whether condition true or false. Whether condition true or false, you want to execute it at least one, right? Let me run. No, if you want to implement do while logic in Python, you can implement using this approach. That is what I am saying. Python do not have do while, but if you want same logic, you can use this. You can use while and one if condition with break. Yeah, so let me show you one example, or I will try to create here. Okay, do while small. Okay, now suppose I want to take input from user, right? Input a number, right? Enter a number and enter a number greater than 5. Number greater than 5, greater than 100. Okay, int. I am converting this into int. Now typecasting I did, I will take this into number num, right? And if user won't give, then I need to ask from user again. So what I will do is I will use while, which is always true. So this loop will execute at least one, right? Now if number is greater than 100, then break, right? I am writing a statement here, break, right? Otherwise it will ask continually, right? First it asks me enter a number greater than 100. Suppose I have entered 54, it will again ask me 55, 78, 33. Now I am giving 153, right? It will break. So it will run at least one time, and then it will check this condition. So you can implement do while using while, which will be always true, and putting your condition here. Okay, so that's how you can implement do while in Python. But honestly, it don't have, right? So most of the time you don't need do while, but in some cases if you need it, then you can implement like this. Your condition will be here. Okay, yeah, do while I have seen mostly in gaming scenarios, but not in general coding, right?